just reach back south with my partner. With my partner. The one who does bring all the liquor them. Not say he given me a cooler, a whole cooler. Plus 2 ladies, he say both of them. Not but if I plan to get down crazy,
Nothing wrong with that.
I filter wine up on 2 ladies.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, if I filter around in the band, get drunk and show up my hands. Well, you don't know that is the plan. Mask and down, go lay with your man. Lord, you is all every whining. Ask why, cause it's Tuesday morning. Left, right, woman, man, shaking. Anyway, I'm in a big jump pass. I picture me between 2 bumpers. 2 bumpers. Sandwich me and have me looking small. Don't have no time to ask for numbers. No numbers. No talking, yo, we doing this hour. Cause if our next girl want to join me,
Nothing wrong with that.
girl come enjoy your party.
Nothing wrong with that.
Cause if you want to turn up your waist, get wild, well, this is the place. You can throw it all in my face in the first place. So lay with your man. Lord, you is all every whining. Ask why, cause it's Tuesday morning. Left, right, woman, man, shaking. Anyway, I'm in the big jump pass. Lord, oh, lay with your man. Lord, oh, lay with whining. Lord, oh, lay with your man. Left, right, woman, man, shaking. Anyway, I'm in a big jump pass. Lord, oh, lay with whining. Lord, oh, lay with your man. Left, right, woman, man, shaking. Anyway, I'm in a big jump pass.
For there is a wind of change, it blowing through the Spice Island. Tell to the people, Mr. PM, don't play with the Canadian people, cause the wind is turning around. That's all. Like all you did, only plan how to win. And after that, all you can do are thing. Poor people balling, they can't Listen, boys and people. Listen, sir. When you turn around, sir. Don't play with the Grenadian people.
And good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott, and I'll be here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. It is Talking Tuesdays, and tonight we will have a guest on with us. Yes, my good friend, Mr. Roland Bowler, the Honorable Roland Bowler, yeah? The General Secretary of the New National Party. He will be our guest on with us from roughly about 8:30 tonight, yeah.
Progress, we moving on. The house solid and the pillars strong. Don't stop the progress. Take a good look around. The house solid and the pillars strong. Don't stop the progress. We moving on. The house solid and the pillars strong. Don't stop.
Yes, indeed, folks. We've got quite a lot to speak about tonight.
Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop it. 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 Don't stop it.
Yeah, I'm just getting something I wanted to play for you all as we start tonight's program. Let me just pull that, yeah.
Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop it. Don't stop it. Don't stop it. Don't stop it.
Let me say a special good night to those of you joining us via 91.9, 91.5 Real FM. Good night to you, Mr. Andre Donald.
Don't stop the progress.
Gates, Carl, Devon, the whole squad, yeah? Yes. Mr. Francis Spears, special good night to you, sir.
Don't stop it. 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 Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop it. Don't stop it. Don't stop it. Don't stop it.
Yeah, there's a point that I need to make tonight, yeah.
Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop it.
All right, so I'm ready. A special good night to those of you listening online. Those of you on the YouTube, we say a special good night to you all. Hit the like button. Yeah, hit the like button right now. Yeah, just like that.
Don't stop it.
Those of you on Facebook, hit the like and share button. Yeah, you know, hit the like and the share.
Yes. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop it. 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 Don't stop it.
You know, I want to play a message from the Member of Parliament for St. Andrew Southeast, the Honorable Emlyn Pear. She put out a little message today. Let me see if I could pull that here. Nice, yeah. Let me put up the little message with the Member of Parliament for St. Andrew Southeast, the Honorable Emlyn Pear.
Morning, I received a message from a family in Carriacou, and I just want to appeal to the government to move swiftly as it relates to rebuilding the homes of those who have lost everything in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Fortunately for us, we are in a situation where finance is not an issue. Funding that government has received from the CRIF program, added with millions of dollars in revenue raised from the CBI program, plus other available resources, are sufficient to ensure that people have a proper roof over their heads. Reducing VAT on housing material at this time is probably a good move for those who can afford to buy housing material. Let us understand, that people who have nothing, reduction in VAT would not assist them. It is not just a matter of planning and preparing, but there's a need for swift and urgent action for those people who are waiting, those people are living under substandard conditions at this time.
Yeah, folks. So that was a message there from the Honorable Emlyn Pear. I don't think anything is wrong with what the Honorable Emlyn Pear has just said. She simply said that the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, she received a message from them that, yeah, it's good. She didn't say it's a bad thing. She said it's a good thing to put in the assistance with VAT in relation, the removal of the VAT in relation to the houses, housing in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. And so she said that's a good thing. But there needs to be something done urgently. Last night, I showed you the tent. Let me see if I could find the tent here. Last night, I showed you the tent. Because that is what they've told the people in Carriacou right now. They've told them that they have to come out from the shelters and that they're giving them these tents. So they have to go and stay in these tents. Now, where's the tent, man? Come up here. Yeah, the tent had to be somewhere around here, man. If it's not the tent, it's going to be the 11th. But the tent had to be somewhere. Yeah. So last night, remember I showed you this? Yeah, these are the tents. They've told the people in Carriacou, basically, who are in the shelters, the schools and so on, that school has to reopen and so, and as such, this is what we're going to provide for you. You're going to have to go into the tents and so on. That's where you're going to have to go and stay. That's the kind of thing that they are focusing on. So if that is what is being focused on, and the Honorable Emlyn Pear is simply saying, hey, housing, people actually want their houses in Carriacou. They want to be able to go into their house, not a tent. Because remember, it's the same people who were saying, when we told them that, hey, they were asked, remember, this administration was asked about the field hospital that the United States donated early in 2022, one field hospital for the main island, one field hospital for Carriacou, Petit Martinique. And they said they don't want to set up the field hospital because in case of adverse weather and so on, you have that tent structure. Well, they're putting people to live in tent structure now. So the messaging seems to be sort of confused. Because this is what they're putting the people in Carriacou. They're telling them they have to come out from the house, they have to come out from the shelters right now, and this is what they're going to be going into. There has been no move thus far by the government in relation to helping the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, especially those who cannot afford it, to build their homes. While they talk about the VAT, there has been no discussion with the hardwares up to now in relation to how they're going to go about it, what is the procedure, what is the code that they're using, whatever, how are they going to get back their money in relation to this movement, in relation to the VAT. They have not been told anything about that. So as it is right now, full voltage when you go, I'm sure no one in Carriacou can honestly say they've gone to any of the places selling building material in Grenada and that those places have said, well, you're getting that VAT free. So the price which ought to have been here is now here. I'm absolutely positive none of them can honestly say that. Because the hardware stores have no information up to now in relation to that. You go and rush and talk to them tomorrow now. Go and rush and talk to them tomorrow. Or we said it last night, only if you rush and talk to them today. But this is what is going on. So the Honorable Emlyn Pear, former Prime Minister Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell also made a statement. The party itself made a statement in relation to the issue with the lack of urgency in relation to offering some sort of housing assistance to the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. And then you see the Member of Parliament for Carriacou and Petit Martinique, instead of being happy that somebody on the other side pushing as well to get something for them. I'm not saying as well because I'm assuming that maybe he doing it, but that somebody on the other side is saying, hey, let's get something for the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. You upset that the Honorable Emlyn Pear talk? You're upset? I mean, look at this nonsense that he's posted here. Let me see if I could make it bigger so you all could see properly. And he says here, MP Emlyn Pierre attended today's Finance Committee meeting, but missed an important opportunity to observe, listen, and contribute to input and suggestions regarding the support for Carriacou and Petit Martinique's rebuilding efforts. Instead, she chose to vent on Facebook, making it evident that her motives are driven more by political grandstanding than genuine concern for the people affected. I mean, absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Our collective efforts should be directed towards rebuilding in a more resilient manner. Stay tuned for upcoming supplementary budget announcement next week, where we will outline measures to support the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Sadly, it seems that some individuals are motivated by a desperate thirst for power. Remember, the person who basically saying that Honorable Emlyn Pierre should say nothing here was one of the 3 young men that went and stand up in Camahone Park. Was one of the young men that went and stand up in front of the ministerial complex with placard in their hand. Was one of the young men that were complaining about every single thing that the new National Party to do. That same Tevin Andrew complained about Imani program. He complained about everything in relation to Carriacou. The same things he has not been able to fix up to now, he complained about when he was in opposition. Everything that they could have possibly find to complain. They complain about sports. They complain about healthcare. They complain about everything they complained about when they were in opposition. Anybody ever tell them that they should not complain? Anybody ever come out and tell them that that is political grandstanding, or we just basically, you just leave them, let them talk? Eric Williams had a way he used to say it. Dr. Eric Williams. He had a way he used to say it. But nobody came to them and say, well, they can't talk. You leave them, let them talk. They want to say thing, say thing. If there's something that you could pick out from what they say, and they say, well, okay, if they're saying this, maybe it's a good idea, and you think about it or whatever. But they were allowed to talk, and it goes back to what we were speaking about, was it last week or so, with when the Honorable Emlyn Pierre posted something else, and then the NDC activists, who in everything, they in the what to call it, the wash or washout program. I don't know if it's wash or washout. I know what kind of program it is. That program. They in the washout program. They on the Sunday program. They all kind of thing. They all over the place. They must be able to talk, but me and you must hush. And anytime we try to talk, is some sort of scurrilous and nonsensical attacks. So the moment you put up something, they start to attack you. And you see, again, we said it last night, a fish rotten from the, and I'm not calling the man a fish rotten from the head. Old people say that. A fish rotten from the head. Whether the head pink, blue, red, wherever it is, I don't know if it's hind. It rotten from the head. Parrotfish, blue, I don't know. A fish rotten from the head. So when you see some of the supporters behaving in a particular way, you have to know that it comes from the leadership or lack thereof within that organization. The Honorable Emlyn Pierre is not saying anything here that you should feel that she had to hush or she shouldn't say anything. Where you feel she is the Minister of Education who you rough up in Carriacou the last time? Wrong Minister of Education. We know you like to rough up Ministers of Education. But the wrong person. Why does he find it necessary, and why do they find it necessary that every time you talk, anytime you talk, they want to go and attack you? You mustn't be able to say nothing. You must hush your mouth. You mustn't be able to make any statement in relation to anything. Look, last night, and as I said, we're bringing on the Honorable Roland Bowler in a while. I still say the Honorable. Look at Vex saying it. That is how I find he is. Right? Let me see if I can find that one now, because I have a video here that I really want to show you all. I have a video here. I will leave the audio of the video off. Yeah, I think I will leave the audio of the video. I'm going to leave it off. But remember, last night, a listener said to us, a caller, they call the program, they said that there's this elderly gentleman, he house fall up in St. John. And the man had to climb through the window to get into the house. All right. Now, that is not camera tricks. That is actually the angle that the man house is at. He cannot get in the door. You see, the gentleman is not a young person that day. The gentleman is up in age, and he's not as ambulatory as many of us are at this point in time. And in order to get into his house, because the house fall down. So I hope the MP for St. John watching tonight. In order to get into his house, this is what he has to go through. So he had to go around the back. He can't get through the front door. So this is what this elderly gentleman has to go through to get into his home. 24 trips for the year, it may cross that now, because that's if they're even here. Since we start to talk about it and expose it, they start to hide and travel now. But yet still, this is what the gentleman has to go through in her constituency right now. That's what he had to go through. Yeah? So the hurricane threw down your house. All you can't find him, all you can't say, well, we assist him, put him somewhere temporarily while we jack up the house, or you take it down in sections and put it back up for him or so. So that is how the gentleman has to get into his place. Somebody that up in the age already, they make the contribution to Grenada already. And that is what they have to go through now to get into their own place. Yeah, that is what they have to go through. In fact, let me put it full screen for all you, man. Yeah, let me put it in full screen so all you go see it properly. Yeah, let me see. Where's that? Come on, man. What's you doing to the computer? Since Grenada got the power the other night, mess up the computers. Yeah. So again, this is the situation of an elderly person in St. John and what they are going through just to get into their home. Can't see the MP or hear from her up to now. She could stand up on stage with beer bottle in hand and cuss bad word. Go and find this gentleman and fix the place. Go and find him. To run all your mouth on people, that is where all you're bad. To run all your mouth on people, all you're bad. To say all kind of nasty thing about people. And to say this one ain't getting that job and that one ain't getting this work and all kind of thing. To spite people, that is where all you're bad. But to actually go and do something for somebody that's in need. This gentleman is in need. He is in need. The gentleman foot trembling, trying to get inside there just now. And he had to go inside. This is how he had to enter his place. And remember, when inside there, he had to sleep with it on the lean, you know. He had to sleep with that on the lean. This is what one of our elderly have to go through right now. But all you like people, ain't it? All you like people. Yeah. Folks, I'll take 2-3 calls before I bring on Brother Bola. And if you want to call, you got to call now. If you want to call, you've got to call right now. Yeah, if you want to call. Brenda, me don't mind if my lad are low, you know, they could say what they want about me at the end of the day. Balling. These are the things that they have to go and check on, yeah? Sometimes you have to shame them into doing what they're supposed to do. Go and stand up on stage with beer bottle and talking about and cussing bad word and them kind of thing in front of them children and people twice your age, yeah.
Oh Lord, put a hand, save us from Nazim and Tillman. We down on we knees, rescue us from NPC, please. Balling.
Go and help the man.
They can take it again. Save us from Nazim
and as soon as people talk, they want to jump down your throat. Yeah, so Honorable Emlyn Pierre talk, they want to jump down your throat. Let's take this call. Hello, good night. Hello, good night.
Good night.
Hi, good night.
Sheldon Scott, good night. Good night.
Partners, I ain't seen you for a while, boy.
A long time call. I just listen.
Yeah, man.
I can listen.
Yeah,
but I see it. I was sick. The minister from Guap, she'll do better than that. Oh God, that old man Oh God, I should that was she father. Should never do that. And what else again? All NC people, all NC members is some thief. The Prime Minister is a thief, all of them are thief. Is a
Mr. Man,
dangerous thief
careful.
for
Oi,
what they are running the country.
Hey, careful what you're saying there, man, because you even called the wrong party.
Oh, okay. I don't talk about it. There is some thief out there in the country. Thief out in the country. Good person, good night to you. I'll keep on listening.
All right, my brother. Thank you. 440-7377, 347-329-3101. Yeah, before we start the conversation with Brother Bola, again, you all an opportunity to call, man. Yeah, again, you all the opportunity to call. Let me see here. Somebody was calling. Which part? Let me clear here. Nice, yeah. I'm giving you all the opportunity to call. Yeah? And folks, remember, those of you that would like to make your donations for the back to school, and even if it's to send something to help this gentleman, just let us know. All right, 440-7377, 347-329-3101. We've got a call online. Hello, good night.
Hey, bro, good night. How you doing?
Hey, hi, good man.
She has literally run into my eyes seeing that old man climbing into a window to get in his place. Oh, God. What's going on in this country, Sheldon? What's going on here? Boy, wicked, you know. I'm lying to tell you, this government is a real mischievous, very malicious, very wicked set of people. You don't do that. You don't do that to poor people. Look at Carriacou State. Look at the state of Carriacou. I heard a woman talk today. When I listened to that woman, I said, nah. She said the literal water almost come from the lady eye. Nah, man, we have to do better than that. Where the $150 million we get? Where those monies? Nah, man, this government need to do better than that. They need to do better. And I don't hear nothing Miss Pierre say wrong. Nothing. She speak a book.
Boss, and the thing is this, the MP should be glad that Miss Pierre called, Honorable Pierre has called and said that send out that call.
She should be commended for making that statement.
He should be glad. If he really loves the people of Carriacou, he should be glad. Because it put in additional pressure on his people to give him more and do it faster.
Yeah. Bro, I'm listening and I'm watching this place. Take care, man.
Yeah, good night, brother. Yeah. And I think we have a caller on the WhatsApp. Let's take that call. Hello, good night.
Sheldon, good night.
Hi, good night. How are you doing?
Not bad, and you?
Well, I feel to fine.
Okay, something I want to say. I sent a text for you, a message on WhatsApp. I don't know if that thing is true, but I just want to find out for me if it's true.
Oh, you were the one who was asking about the Grenada worker who has lost his... Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
but we never that ever broadcast or anything?
Well, probably as it happened during the carnival and everything, the news didn't travel as it would travel outside of that. But the person was injured, and what we've heard is that they have lost both hands.
Both hands, yeah. I said, because I say, wait, when I see that thing, I say that's news to me. But I say, I don't really want to alarm or anything like that. So I said, I send a text for you.
Yeah, I'm
so
not
I say,
aware.
just find out if that is true for me.
Yeah, it is true from what I've picked up, but I'm not aware of the circumstances that caused that to happen. Apparently, they were on the job. There was an accident, and the injuries were such that even though they flew them out of the country, that they wanted to save their hands. Yeah.
Okay. So sad.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that, though.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay,
my dear. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, my dear. Good.
All right. 440-7377. We have a call online. Hello, good night.
A pleasant good night to you, Sheldon Scott.
Hey, how you doing, Pass?
By God's grace, I'm doing good. I'm the voice of one crying in the wilderness.
Yes, sir.
For the people of Carriacou and Petit Matnik.
Yes, sir. Pass. I've given you just around 3 to 5 minutes because I must.
Right, that's quite all right.
So go right ahead. Yeah.
That's quite all right. Sheldon, I saw the picture with the LED tonight, and that one basically is touchy. You know, I don't know if the MP is aware of that situation. And if she's aware of that situation, it doesn't take too long to really deal with that. He's an elderly.
They informed the MP, from what I have heard, from the people who are there. The MP should know they've been informed.
Right.
The reason it got to this stage is because they've been informed nothing is being done. So it seems as though you always have to embarrass these people to do their work. So let we embarrass them.
Yeah, it's kind of a sad, but what I saw there tonight, I mean, come on, that's not a young guy, that's an old guy, an elderly, Sheldon Scott, very quickly, I need the people, I'm speaking direct to the people of Carriacou and Pidematic, by extension, the people in the northern part of the island, Suarez, and the other area that have been affected by burial. Now, I believe that if I have my information right, the 2007 Grenada has been insured. An insurance had been opened up for Grenada should in case of any natural disaster. After Ivan and Emily, I believe the former Prime Minister sees fit to make sure that if another disaster passes, the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Pidematic should benefit. And we need to tell the Prime Minister, take a bow, sir, take a bow. After a couple of years, remember, after a couple of years, burial came and burial passed. The people in Carriacou, 14 days after burial passed, this administration received that money. That money that this administration received, you that pays that insurance, me that help pay that insurance, so each and every one of us in Grenada, Carriacou, and Pidematic, all of you that lost your house, you have money in that insurance. And that insurance money have to cover every Grenadian that get damaged by burial. Everyone. I need you, the Carriacou and Pidematic people, to know that your house must be repaired by this money. I don't care what money they put in bank to tell you to go and lend it. Not to go and lend that money. You cannot go and lend money that is yours. The money comes in to assist you with the rebuilding of your home. Mr. Prime Minister, I'm coming to you. That money is not to pay pension people that still crying out that they don't get pension money. That money is not to pay public workers. That money is to repair the houses of the people that get damaged. And I noticed, Sheldon, that you put up a tent. And I am encouraging, I am discouraging the people of Carriacou and Pidematic who is in a shelter where you and your children are safe. Don't leave the center and go in this tent. I repeat, do not leave the center where you are to go to this tent with your children. It is not wholesome. We're still in the hurricane season. So what this government is doing, operation, just kick them out and put them in a tent. It is not conducive for human living. It's not a single man that is going to live there. I have one advice for you, the Prime Minister, as I close here. You, Mr. Prime Minister, I need you to get your Minister of Finance. I need you and your Minister of Finance to take a trip to Carriacou. When you and the Minister of Finance reach in Carriacou, I need you all to have a sit together with Kevin Anjo. And I need you to include Mr. Nolan Cox, which is a member of the opposition, into that meeting. Charting the way forward for the rebuilding of the houses with the insurance money that you collected. I also need you, the Prime Minister, to speak to Sarana and Richard Roberts. They are those the owner of Paddy's Enterprise. Give them at least $10 million. Make your agreement right. Give them at least $10 million to order galvanize, to order screws, to order wood, and all the wood that is coming in must be pressure treated. Give them the opportunity to bring in the material to come into Grenada. It coming to Carriacou. So let Paddy Enterprise, which is one of the best known enterprises on the island, do all the shipping to Carriacou. And finally, Sheldon Scott, you the Prime Minister, after that is done, I need you to get in contact with all the local builders on the island of Carriacou first. If we don't have enough to rebuild Carriacou, I know this is not enough, then we will have to get people from Grenada. And when I say builders from Grenada, not those so-called builders that just form how many companies to go in Carriacou to rip up the people with the money. Sheldon, I rest my case until further notice.
All right. Thank you so very much, Pastor. Yes, indeed, folks. Let me just get in contact here with Honorable Roland Bola. Yeah, I need to get in contact with him. Where's that now? Yeah, I need to get in contact with him. And yeah, we're gonna take it from there. In the interim, I wonder if I have a song there, boy. I must have a song I could play still. So I believe we have the Honorable Roland Bola on the line. Hello, good night, sir. Hello? Hello?
Scott, and how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm quite fine.
Hello, are you hearing me?
Yeah, we hearing you now,
we
man.
having connectivity problem?
No, man, I hearing you good. I hearing you nice and clear. I hope you're hearing me on your end. Hello? Hello? Well, I'm hearing you, but I'm not sure if you're hearing us.
Yes, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Yes, sir. So how have you been?
Considering all things, I'd say I'm doing well. I mean, lately, in the last couple of days, I've been having a little issue. A lot of pain. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we there.
No, I hope it's not a lot of a pain in your joints and them kind of thing. You know it a dengue around these days. Honorable Bola, you'd have to listen to me on the phone. If you follow on the computer in the background, you're going to be delayed by a few minutes, by about a minute or and a half. So you're gonna have to follow me on the phone itself.
Understood.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to follow me on the phone itself. If you listen to the device in the back, you're gonna be delayed by about roughly about 60 seconds. So a minute. Yeah. So you're saying
I'm taking it directly from the phone.
Right, nice. No, you're good there with us now. So you say you've been getting some pains, man.
Yeah, a couple of days, my shoulders and the back of my neck have been paining, But as you age, I expect these little woes to take place. So I haven't been taking it very serious until today.
Young fella like you talking about when you age. I understand. Yes.
Well, we might be looking young, Sheldon, but it's a fact. Every day that passes, it's one day older.
Well, that's
true. Or one day more into maturity, whatever way you want to put it.
I find that's a better one. You put it as one day further into maturity. I ain't saying older.
All right. We can call it that.
All right. And how have things been going up in St. Andrew, Northeast? Your well, it's always your constituency. While you are not the MP, it's always your constituency. It's home to you. How have things been going in St. Andrew in general? Not just St. Andrew Northeast, but St. Andrew in general.
Right. And we could take it back to the passage of burial. We can start from there. And the truth is, St. Andrew in as a parish has not been as wounded as the northern part, St. Patrick's, Carriacou or Petit Martinique. We have had, especially the farming community, is where we have had some losses in terms of homes. Here and there, sparsely far apart, you may meet a house or two that have lost their roof or some part of the house. So generally speaking, we were not wounded badly. But there are a lot of other effects that the people are having. The fact that some of our farmers, the entire field went down, or the St. Andrews area is known for quite a bit of soursop. Maybe we could call it the soursop capital if we wish. There have been a lot of losses, especially in the lower belt, because that's where the soursop does best, in the middle to lower belt, not so much up in the high belt in the mountains and so.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the bearing trees, or most of them went down, save and except those that were in sheltered areas that wasn't touched by the hurricane. The people are coping.
Let me, as you mentioned, the soursop though. That was one of the initiatives I remember when the new National Party returned to office in 2013. One of the kind of immediate initiatives was that planting a soursop initiative, getting soursop plants out there, encouraging farmers to plant more soursop, because it was something that a lot of folks were rushing. Trinidad wanted it, outside of Grenada wanted it, and Grenada alone, I believe. You were Minister of Agriculture as well.
Yes.
Grenada, one of the only countries that could have sent it either to the US or wherever without pulping it or so. There was something like that.
Yes, you're correct. You're online. In terms of the USA, Canada, and I even believe England to a certain extent. And I think we still are up until now. If anything has changed, it must have been in recent times, and I have not heard about it. But we still are the only country, as far as I know, that can send it in its raw state. You know, you can pick it off the tree, clean it, package it, and ship it with no problem. Every other country. So, for example, a country like Brazil, that is one of the biggest producers of soursop, they do not have a license to sell it fresh to the US market. They have to make secondary products. They have to pulp it and make it into other things because of some, I think, a fruit fly. Maybe that's not the way they call it, because the fruit fly is in mangoes and so. But there's some internal pests, so they're not allowing it.
And I know we had successfully dealt with the mealybug in Grenada. So probably that's the reason that they're saying, well, okay, Grenada has successfully dealt with the mealybug, because we had that problem heavy in the early to mid 1990s there. We had that mealybug problem, 93, 94 coming up there, and Grenada was able to effectively deal with it. So that's probably one of the reasons that we're allowed to.
Maybe I'm not sure the reasons why they accepted us, but we are clean. As it relates to that internal feeder, that internal pest. And that is part of the reason why the Ministry of Agriculture then, and I think this must have continued now to the Pest Control Division, has been saying to Grenadians, please do not bring the fruit or plants from any other part of the world into Grenada. Because by so doing, you can contaminate the clean fruits that you already have here. So you can mess up the market for us. And based on what you said earlier on, we had a very, very active and aggressive program of soursop planting. We did enter into an arrangement with the marketing board, who at that time was one of the major exporters. And what they would do, the Ministry of Agriculture will have its extension officers go out into fields, locate good trees, bearing trees, very prolific in the bearing and reasonable size. And the marketing board would pay the farmer for the fruits on that tree and harvest it for us so that we can extract the seeds to get planting material. There's another guy called Nick Boyle, I think. He's not Grenadian. I'm not sure of his nationality. I want to believe he's Australian, but live in the US. Was another and still does export, major exporter of soursop. So we entered into a partnership with him as well to help us provide things like the bags for the plants and the potting soil and some chemicals and so. So the major exporters, we were in arrangement with them to help provide all of the material that we need to get plants. So farmers had plants. And at one time we were selling soursop plants at $1 for one. I don't know what the price is now, but to encourage farmers to get into it in a big way, because there was really a big market. Hundreds of millions of dollars was on offer if you can produce sufficient soursop.
Also, at that time, I also remember, especially through the marketing board, that they were even after the soursop leaves. I remember at that time, Bishop Devon Rocher was within the marketing board and making that call on farmers that, hey, we come in, we going to pick the leaf we sell because you have to pick in a specific way. But allow us to come and we'll pay you for the leaf, but we come in and get the leaf as well, because the leaf itself, people are using it as tea. Well, the older folks, we know about that one. Some not making good as some sort of tea first thing in the morning, especially when the place cold. Yeah, man, that's one as bad as what,
Yeah, we're exporting the leaves as well, but with this one, I don't think that it was sustainable for many reasons. One, The amount we were doing, I did say at that time to marketing board and others, they should encourage the farmers in the high belt to plant us up for harvesting of the leaves, because it's a crop that don't do too well in terms of bearing where it's cold, where it gets a lot of rain. That is why the lower belt area, the dry area like Paul's and Conference, Paradise, La Poterie, Versailles, Rose Hill, they're very good. They bear a lot in these kind of lower areas. In the mountainside, you would get a lot more leaves. So maybe those up there could have concentrated on it. Because if you harvest too many leaves, you affect its ability to bear.
Yeah.
So you couldn't get fruits and get leaves from those in the lower belt.
Yeah. That is why
I don't know what's happening now with that.
That is why marketing board themselves were going to pick the leaves. They didn't want to leave it to the farmers. Yeah. They themselves know how much to pick and how to pick it, so they were going and get the leaves. But again, we don't know if that is happening. Anything similar is happening. We no longer have the marketing board. So we don't know what is taking place with that one.
We don't know now.
Yeah. Also, you mentioned that the plants were going at $1. We're still waiting to hear from the Ministry of Agriculture if any similar program, similar to what the NNP did when they came in, is being done now to assist the farmers who lost the trees. Because I've been speaking to farmers and you hear, well, boy, I lose 70 nutmeg trees here. Under the nutmeg tree, you lose 70 nutmeg trees here, who lose 100. They lose all the spice trees, different things like that. And we're not hearing about any significant investment or initiative by government to replace those.
Well, I made the point very similar on a couple of weeks ago on To The Point GBN, that the government should move quickly and try and provide assistance to farmers, because so many of these farmers, that's their livelihood, that's their only source of income. And to have everything done, nothing to sell, it's an issue for them. School is going to reopen soon. Some of them have young families, and so that's just one part. But secondly, having lost some of them, all of the trees, Ivan, then Emily, and now you replant, and they just, a lot of these nutmeg trees, for the people who lost in Ivan, are now getting to a stage of full maturity where they can bear for you. And to lose them again, it's very heartbreaking. And you must do a lot for these people to encourage them to return to the land. Because every time you look at that and you know the labor you put in, the care, the time, the energy, the money, it's not very encouraging for you to go back and do it. And bearing in mind that we have a lot of conversation happening now about climate change. It has been happening for a while, but I think people are taking it on more serious now on global warming. There is an expectation that hurricanes will be for a longer period throughout the year and much stronger, much more frequent. So all of that put together in the box doesn't inspire people to want to farm again. But talking about that, after Hurricane Ivan, when we were on a massive replanting drive, a lot of the main crops that we do, the nutmeg, the cocoa, and so, a lot of the plants was given for free, just propagated and given to farmers to plant. We worked in collaboration with the Nutmeg Association and the Cocoa Association. But I haven't heard any announcement. Maybe some things are happening, because as a farmer myself, who have lost all of my soursop and sugar apple and most of my fruit trees, there were some extension officers that did come through my property and make a check and took notes of what went down. I normally don't see extension officers, but they did after burial. But I haven't heard anything since. I didn't get a call. I didn't hear of any initiative that is happening. So maybe things are happening unknowing to me. And if it is, I hope that it is worthwhile and that the government will expedite, because you can't wait. When you have hungry children, when you have bills to pay, when you have people that you owe and they ask you for their money, and your means of income is through farming, you really have to get it done quickly. You can probably tell a man, well, look at my field, it was destroyed. But these are things that I have replanted already, and hopefully in another couple of months I should be having
Honorable Bola, we lost you. We lost you a bit there. I don't know if you move away from the phone or so, but we lost you a bit.
Maybe I'd put the phone a little bit away from me. My bad with that.
Yeah.
Sometimes
that's
how the technology fail you.
I know it does go. But yes, so we've been speaking a little bit about St. Andrew and about the farming and so on. And also there's a serious issue when it comes to the fishermen. They've been having a hard time. If it's not seaweed, it's beryl. They've been having an absolutely rough time for the past year or so. And what do you have to say about that? What are you hearing from the fishermen in St. Andrew? I know you're a man like your fish hunting too.
Of course, I do that pretty often. Yeah. I go get fish. And the truth is, I have not interacted a lot with the fishermen because some of the times you go and I go straight to the market. I have a contact, a fish vendor who I will call and say, look, I'm coming in to get some today. Would you have it clean and so on? Then I go and pick up. But the fact remains that the environmental conditions that these fishermen operating now is so different from yesterday. And I recall since during the NNP time, we were looking at different ways of trying to combat or deal with this sargassum seaweed. Mm-hmm. And in the campaign, like a lot of other promises made, this government did give a clear assurance to the fishermen that they already have plans and they know what they're supposed to do and they're going to trap the seaweed and what have you. But we have not seen any move up until now. You know, that's a clear issue for fishermen. The fact too that our waters are getting warmer. A lot of species that was very prevalent in our waters are moving further up into colder regions. So the fishermen have to go further and further out in order to get a good catch. So we have to study this thing properly. We have to pull in the fishermen together. We have to meet with them. We have to explain to them. And in their language, not just get some person who is very prevalent in science and common use terminology that poor fishermen would never understand. But bring it down to the level and get them to adapt techniques. I'm certain that there are countries in the region, Cuba or other places, that we might be able to offer a bit of training, or they might be able to send a couple of people here if we have that kind of relations with them still to help to train our fishermen, because the techniques and so must evolve over time because it's not the same conditions like before.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Indeed. So we understand a bit. And then there's the additional problem that farmers have been going through outside of the fishermen, the same warm water that's affecting the fishermen and causing them to have to go further and further out and change the grounds. As they say, I don't know why fishermen just say they go in and fish on our grounds and they're in the water. But anyhow.
That is their ground.
That is their ground.
The water is their ground, Sheldon. You wouldn't understand that.
Me, I don't like boat now. But outside of that, though, we've had some dry spells. And last year, I know towards the end of the year, we had some serious dry weather. That serious dry spell we had towards the end of the year last year and the beginning of this year, that has affected the farmers as well, because they have been unable to irrigate in the way that they would irrigate, and they had already reduced the amount that they were planting due to the fact they don't have the outlet with marketing board again to offload a lot of the goods. So I don't know what you have to say in relation to that particular issue. I know back in the days I saw, irrigation I know was important. Some of the guys I know in Pearls and so I know under past NNP administrations had been assisted with things like irrigation and so. What is the situation now with some of these farmers?
Well, of course, we had brought in during the reign of the NNP several container loads of lines and pumps, sprinklers. I mean, a lot of this black lines, what they call it, it's a plastic poly something, I can't remember. It's
probably polyurethane,
yeah. They came in during the era, some of it came from France and other places. The government of the day brought in several containers. Most of it was stored up in Maribo, and farmers was assessed. Many of them was given on loan terms and they had to pay overtime and so for it. And up till today, a lot of these farmers still utilize these irrigation equipment. From since this government came in, 2 years has passed, I've not seen or heard, even hear a farmer mention that they have brought in anything to assist. So that through the GDB, that they were able to get the kind of loans and the kind of conditions that we were offering when we were in government for them to purchase a lot of the inputs they need for the farms. So nothing is really happening that much to push farming. And let me just make this point, because sometimes people tend to believe you're bashing a government. And I have no intention to do that. Farming is a very difficult thing. It takes time. It's really hard, laborious work. And by our farming standards in Grenada, it's even more difficult to make money because we have our land space in terms of flat lands. We have no large expanse of flat land. So we cannot mechanize like you would see in some of the larger countries, in the Brazil or Chile or some of these places, even Cuba. We don't have that kind of large expanse of flat land, so you can just put a machine down and it plows, and then you put another one, or you change the implement, and it will sow the seeds, and it can harvest for we don't. We have a lot of hilly terrain, so it means that the farmer and his family, or if he has 2-3 guys that is employed with him, would have to physically go in and work with a cutlass, sometimes use a fork. Because of the terrain, they can't bring in a machine and so. So it's hard work. It takes determination and it takes people with the will to do it. So it's not always easy. And sometimes some people, because of that, they get some assistance, they do one good crop, and then they go and rest. They're not consistent. So we need a lot of training and a lot more assistance for our farmers. And assistance doesn't just mean giving them implements. It means talking and training them and explaining to them how doing good business, how it works. And I think we have failed our farmers in that aspect to a certain extent.
Because I know in fact, if you're looking at fishing, for instance, I know over the years, many years ago, through the Fishing Corporation, and I believe it was the Japanese government, they did a program with the fishing for the squid, the diamondback squid. And
Yes.
I remember a lot of the hotels and so in Grenada were very happy because the squid they were getting was originally was a lot smaller, and they had to get it, I think, from way down Guyana or somewhere they were getting the squid from. And they were so happy to be getting the diamondback squid. But all of a sudden, less and less fishermen started going out for it. Now you don't hear about it again.
No, you don't hear about squid.
And that was a serious export potential and so on there, as well as for utilization locally. I was at the launch of that many years ago. Again, the Fishermen Corporation, they started doing bacon of the sea. They started doing it good. But Grenadians passing it in the supermarket. Grenadians didn't support
Well,
it.
that's another thing, Sheldon, is that our people have never been trained to appreciate what's local. We always have that tendency to believe what's foreign is more superior to what's local. And we might say we're not patriotic, that's what some people may say, but I oftentimes say we have never taught our people how to support what is ours, and oftentimes what's local is much better, much more nutritious, has less chemicals and additives that can affect our health and so, which is another issue all by itself. So we have to do more. We definitely have to. Successive governments have tried, they've put in money, they have done things, but that aspect of building capacity in some of the people whom we have involved in those industries, we have not done well enough there at all.
Indeed. And folks, it is 9 o'clock on the Spice Side. We're speaking with, I still say the Honorable Roland Bola, and I call it that so long, I can't stop calling you that. The Honorable Roland Bola, the General Secretary of the new National Party. We will be speaking about the party in a while, but we're just speaking about St. Andrew. We were speaking about St. Andrew, and we end up on agriculture and fisheries.
Yes, in a general way.
I think we might have to move back to St. Andrew for a while, because you were speaking about the fact that Beryl affected the farmers, and so in in St. Andrew. What are some of the other issues that you're seeing in St. Andrew at this point in time? I know back in your days, for instance, when you're talking about Northeast, and back when our good sister, your little sister, well, I can't call her little again, sister big,
Yes.
Sister Kate Skeeter Lois Peters. When she's
Yes.
sending out gang to work, and when you sending out gang to go and do the bushing and so on, is lap and cut. Everybody getting a little something. These days I hearing different stories coming out of St. Andrew Northeast and St. Andrew in a general way. That
I think it's Island White, Sheldon.
yeah, it is
The
Island
manner in
White,
which
but
they do the selection.
yeah, but it
It
used to
is
be lap
Island
and cut.
White.
Everybody
The
used to
fact
eat a
is-
little something.
The fact is, you see, the NNP government, despite what you say about them, and they weren't always perfect, neither I can come here and say everything NNP did was just well done,
No, we won't
perfect,
say that.
bravo, 100%. We have failed in some areas. We have done some things and not get the results that we expected for varying reasons. And if you examine what we did, you would see some of the reasons why we didn't always maximize on what we really wanted to do. But the fact is, we had a conscience and we had love for people and we had concern, genuine concern about people. There were one or two people in different areas that took advantage of our benevolence. But in general, people will tell you, and up to today, some people meet me, even supporters of the National Democratic Congress, and they say, boy, remember in your time, I remember when NNP were there, but we always got work. Because one of the things I used to say to the people who were assisting me in the program of selecting and so is that everybody must work. It doesn't matter which political party you are supporting, you must work. You live in Grenada, you're expected to work in Grenada. Not go in Trinidad and work and collect your money and come back here in Grenada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
They
So
used to be
we
looking forward to
always made sure.
the 420 it was, or 430 or whatever they call it. That's
432.
the 432, yeah. They're looking for the 432.
432.
Yeah, man.
I think after they got NS and what have you. So you remember that, man? It's the young guys.
Yeah, man. They're looking for the 432, man.
Yeah, they used to stop me and say, boss, I don't get my 432 yet. So it's first time I hear that. So, what the hell is this guy talking about? It's my driver eventually had to tell me, them men don't get a walk here, they don't get fitted in yet. And then I catch up with it. But everybody used to. It didn't matter what colors you wave, green, yellow, red, it didn't matter. Because this was to help the vulnerable, and vulnerable people are not just on one side. It's not only NNP or NDC or GOLP or what, they are vulnerable people throughout. And I really don't know why this administration thinks it is going to work in their favor to be picking and choosing. And in some instances, I've heard people say, look, the people who you see out on the street doing the bushing now, they have other jobs. Man, that's as you oftentimes say, how I buy is so I sell.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm hearing. So I don't know. It's just senseless to me.
Yes, indeed. Honorable Roland Bowler, I know that you were also a former. People doesn't remember thing, you're a former Minister of Sports, In fact,
yes.
I wonder, you were Minister of Sports when we had the first Grenada Invitational.
Yes.
Yes. So you were there.
Yes.
And we see that at this year, unfortunately, our 50th year of anniversary or year of the most medals at the Olympic Games and so on, even Karani James, even if not medaling, just making us extremely proud. We see that the end of the Grenada Invitationals have come. Only today I was going through and I saw a picture of you with Chris Brown and so on, and when they were organizing for the original Grenada Invitational Games.
The very first one, yes.
Your thoughts on what has happened in when
well,
it
first
comes
of all,
to
Sheldon, before I hit that question, let me use the opportunity now, as I have it public airwaves, to congratulate all our Olympians, every one of them, all those who made it to Paris, but in particularly those two who made it, Lyndon and Anderson. And as I've heard him being called King Kiran, we could never forget him.
Mm-hmm.
He made us proud. He has made it to 4 successive Olympics. And to get there and get into the finals, that in itself is a great achievement. Even though he didn't medal this time around, um, I wouldn't say it as a certain person say, but we should make some noise for him. So I just want to use personally that little space to congratulate them wholeheartedly. They have made Grenada proud again. They continue to cause our flags to fly high. But more importantly, I think they are inspiring the younger athletes, those who are behind, those who have a little dream in their heart, those who have a little taste on the tongue for the big games like the Olympics, to say to themselves, look, if Lyndon could do it, if Kirani could do it, if Anderson could do it, I too can do it. So hats off to them, and I really do hope that a lot of younger Grenadians will try to walk in their footsteps in whatever discipline they are in. But as it relates to the Invitational, it was indeed an excellent marketing tool for Grenada as a destination for sports tourism and tourism in general. I mean, we were able to bring in a few big names, and people came in to see them. Coaches came in some instances, family members. And especially when we were celebrating our 50th independence anniversary, when I think there were a lot of Grenadians as well as foreign people here, I thought that would have been one of the bigger, if organized well and being able to bring in some of the big name athletes, would have been an excellent, excellent opportunity for us. I don't remember if the government itself gave a rationale, only that I heard some people saying they didn't have enough funds to assist, because government did have a stake in terms of assisting to pay some of the bills through Lotto and Board of Tourism and what have you. So I don't know what was the real issue. Maybe you have heard, Sheldon, because in my neck of the woods, in the back, almost in River Antoine, I don't get all of the information as quickly as I need to get them.
I've heard several stories, but to this day, the 20th day of August 2024, government has never come out and give a direct story. The last we heard was the statement made in Parliament by now a fired Minister of Youth and Sport, former Senator Jonathan Lacret, when he said he was attempting to speak with the organizers, and that's the last we heard. Not another word from government in relation to it. The organizers have issued their release. They said why, and the government has not said on their end why they allowed what happened to happen. So I
really
know,
sad for Grenada.
because I know the amount of work that went into getting the first Grenada Invitational here. It was getting the stadium itself ready, and also using that as the opportunity to name the stadium after Karani James. All of the assistance that government gave, not only in cash but in kind, to ensure that the games happened and that Grenada got the exposure that it got. And to see what has happened now, that we've gotten to the stage that the games not only did not take place last year and did not take place this year, but have now been cancelled totally, will not be happening, and the company itself has been folded. It has indeed been a sad time for sports when it comes to what has happened there.
Sad time for sports, and stifling of the initiative of your natives, your local people, because this company and the people who was backing it and behind the invitation are basically Grenadians, young entrepreneurs, people who had a vision and thought that they can build and grow something out of it. But when others see how they were treated and what happened, I mean, it would not inspire confidence in them to want to venture into any kind of an initiative that can probably bring, greater recognition to Grenada. Sometimes I don't think that we examine well enough the decisions that we are about to make and to see the full implications of them. Sometimes we do things in a haste and we think, well, it's 4 guys or 5 guys. It doesn't matter. No, it's sometimes more than that. There are a lot of other people that get affected as a result. The hoteliers, the taximen, everybody. So we have to count the cost down the road. And sometimes it could be a very long list of people that get affected and lose a way of making a dollar, improving their pockets.
Mm-hmm. And only during this week as well, because I know that quite a significant amount of money has been utilized to redo the tracks at the athletic stadium, because we know that in order to get a specific ranking, your tracks have to be up to a certain standard, and so you can't have areas on your track that damaged and all these different sort of things. It had to be up to scratch, up to standard. And I've seen some damage to the tracks, and it hurts my heart. I've seen some damage to different areas of the track that was just laid earlier this year. And now you're seeing, for instance, there's a part that the lines on the track have been rubbed off and so. And the thing is, I don't think that the people who are in charge understand. The lines that are on that track, for you to be able to have international events there, you can't just call a sign painter and say, go and paint the track. This has to be done by specialists, and I think there's only one in the region that you have to fly in to put the lines down there for the track. And you're seeing areas where that has come off. The last I saw up to a day or two ago was chicken bone on the track and all kind of things still. I mean, come on, man. They have to do better than that. They have to do better than that with the investment, especially if we're looking towards Olympics 2028 and World Championships, Diamond League, etc. We have to do better than that.
We can take it back a bit, Sheldon. There are just some people who never appreciated the value of these facilities that are of international standard. You would quite clearly remember, even from the first athletic stadium that we had, how much beating Dr. Mitchell got for the vision. Why we had to build a stadium, this, that. When it crumbled on Ivan, he wasn't this, that. We got the assistance with the Chinese to build the second one and so. And I shouldn't say no. Very few people gave credit to the man with the vision and the government that supported him in doing that. We are seeing the results now from the international athletes or athletes of international standard that we are creating. And it was not just the athletic and cricket stadium. I mean, several other fields throughout the island. You have La Sagesse, you have Cuthbert Peters, you have Progress Park, you have four. And these are major fields, parish by parish, that were upgraded and brought up to a standard. A lot of them doesn't have the Mondo tracks and so down on them. But they were of the size that you have 400-meter track you can get around them and can allow our boarding athletes to train in facilities that was proper. We would like if Progress Park could have a track lead, if Cuthbert Peters and Lassa Jason, all of them could have a track lead. We'd love that. I know it's costly, but that would only bring about more joy for our athletes. So some people have not fully understood the value in that investment. I mean, that the investment by itself in the facilities, that alone will not do it for our athletes. There need to be the commitment, the right coaching staff, the nutrition package. All of those things have to combine, but you need to have the facilities. And so, since they do not appreciate and understand that, don't expect them overnight to understand the value of what's laid there. And so they will mistreat it and behave and treat it as though it doesn't matter because they can't see the value in it.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm telling you, I was just showing some of the listeners the photos from the track and with the chicken bone and thing on it. And some of the paneling that was put in to protect the track still in place and so. And there's also supposed to be a football match taking place on the field within the next couple of weeks as well. So I hope that the remedial work that has to take place takes place at the National Stadium facility. So at least we don't end up with an embarrassing situation that we went through during last year. Remember, there was a game that was supposed to take place at a particular playing field, and they had to abandon the game at the field because the standard wasn't up. So I'm hoping that at least what needs to be done at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium, the stadium that carries the name of our Olympic champion, that at least something is done there to ensure that the track that was just put down is restored and restored properly. And again, you can't just send a sign painter to go and paint those areas. You have to get the regional person to come in and do their measurements and paint it. It's not just take some white paint and give it a lash of paint. So that has to be done and done properly. Yeah, because a quarter or a sixth of an inch could make a difference in a race. Eh? So
Man, I mean, you saw in just ended the Olympics a couple of what we just refer to as photo finish.
Yeah.
A couple of them were so close that you couldn't tell from the naked eyes.
Yeah.
So it's about understanding and appreciating, and sometimes allowing people who have had the experience. The Ministry of Sports has always had some really good people. People who are dedicated, people who love sports. I mean, some of them probably has gone into retirement now, and younger ones have taken over. But in these kind of areas, it's not just a person qualified with a couple of O levels or so. You need people that have a deep-seated interest, because sometimes you have to treat some of these athletes as your own children. You have to be there for them, not only to teach them how to move their legs or move their arms, but sometimes even the psychosocial aspect of it. Some of them have issues, they have problems at home, in school. As the coach, sometimes you're the person they trust and they want to talk to, and you have to have the capacity in you to help them out. So we really have to look seriously at those things if we want to continue to produce star athletes and athletes of international standards.
Of course. And one of the initiatives that started during your time as well, and a bit before, was the lighting of playing fields. I know that a serious focus on lighting up playing fields and so was initiated under your watch within the ministry. Yes, some was done. I'm not giving the impression that nothing was done before. You had one or two things that was done before, but some serious initiative was taken under your watch as well. Give us a little insight into that.
Well, the intent has always been understanding the purpose and understanding the integral nature of sports in the lives of people. Not only to board international or athletes of international standard, but also just for health reasons. It is good to keep your body moving. It is good to have people, youngsters in particular, with some of the lifestyle diseases that we see in obesity and hypertension and diabetes and these things, to get children active. And as a result, I mentioned a few of the higher standard or the larger fields like the Lasso and Cuthbert Peters and so on. But there was a serious initiative and plan, the Ministry of Sports, working in collaboration with the various MPs to have fields done in some of the smaller villages. So, like in Black Bay, I remember Minister Darby doing tremendous amount of work on a little field there and bring it up to standard that the villagers could get good field to play. I know Minister Pierre had a serious initiative and was in negotiations with the landowners because in Hope, right on the edge of the road, there's a field there, pretty small, but she was negotiating to get some more lands to do expansion in that field. I know my predecessor in the Ministry of Sports, he's gone to rest now, Brother Adrian Spaceman Mitchell, did tremendous amount of work in River Sally playing field. When Pablo came around, some work had started in Rose Hill, more was done, and the lighting took place. Even in our own constituency here, we did some work in the Seamoon playing field. I was able, for Bel Air Government School in particular, there was a very small field there. It was like a hill. When the children run in a little race, they probably had about 150-meter track going around the field. When they start off, and they go down the hill. You can't see what happening until they come back up the hill to know who in front or who behind. We were able, after Ivan, doing the work that we were doing, to bring in a lot of mole and thing and dump down the hill. And at the end of it, when we were complete, we had a field that had a 300-meter track, you know. To the latter part of my stint as a representative, we did some tremendous work in a poultry. Was able to grade and have that field done. We had some bleachers built and so. We were in the process of fencing. We put up the poles and everything. Now I notice some work has been done recently, and the fencing is actually up now. The poles were up already, the majority, 80% of it. But the lights, I don't know for what the reason. They're not bringing in the lights. The poles are up and everything. I don't know what the reason is, but you know, that's just a few of the smaller few because
I hear the
we
lights
knew
end
the
up in another.
importance of that.
I heard the lights end up in another constituency, but that's a story for another day.
Well,
the lights that were supposed to come there, they end up in another constituency.
No,
So
they actually have it up, you know, Sheldon.
No, the poles are no up. They put the lights on it now.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, so they bring them up now. Okay, good.
Yes, I don't know what is the problem with connectivity. The children of Tivoli RC school and the teachers and parents was promised 2 athletic sports ago that it was going to be lit for sports, and nothing has happened up until now.
Indeed. And so we see the outcome of all that has been done when it comes to sports from 1995, coming up with the first stadium and the second stadium, and our athletes being able to run on the synthetic track and so on, and have the feel of being in a stadium, not just running on the grass itself, but being able to run in their own athletic stadium here in Grenada. So they didn't go out and end up in culture shock when they get to another country and wow, that's a synthetic track. First time you're running on a synthetic track. No, they're accustomed to that. Whether it's primary school sports, whether it's secondary school sports, they're accustomed to that here in Grenada. Some of the schools even have their sports at the athletic stadium, so they're accustomed to that here in Grenada. And seeing how that has benefited. And the question I keep asking, though, is we are here now. What about 2028? What are we looking at in 2028? We come out of this Olympics with 2 medals. And I believe we should be looking to come out with much more in 2028. You know, whether we're sending a 4x4 team, which I find is still a good possibility for an island like Grenada to be sending a 4x4 team, probably even male and female. Yeah. So it's how are we looking forward to the next Olympics and the next World Championships and the Diamond League and all the pen relays that some of the students used to go to from here, all of those stuff. How are we looking forward to that, you know?
Well, the planning need to start now. So,
yeah.
I mean, 3-4 years look as though it's a long way off. But believe you me, couple sleep and wake and then you realize it right here on you. The planning need to start now. We need to identify, and maybe they have already identified some youngsters with potential, but when you identify them, that is not enough. You have to work with them dedicatedly, you know, and build them into what we think they can be. I mean, look at Jamaica, and this Olympics, Jamaica didn't really show up well. I'm not sure if Jamaica won probably 2 or 3 medals.
They got 9. I think they got 9 around 9 or so in total. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is that Jamaica's athletics is in a transitional stage at this point in time. You no longer have the Usain Bolt and the Shelley and all the others. They are transitioning out. And then you have the Tina Claytons and so who are coming in. If the world feels that by the next Olympics, Jamaica will not be dominating when it comes to the sprints again, they have another thing coming. Those Clayton twins, the 2 young ladies, and they've got a lot of other. Jamaica has some children that are running sub 10-second times. They're running 10-second 100 meter and this kind of thing. And that's in the secondary school system. Some countries don't have athletes on the national level running what Jamaica has running in the school sports.
But the thing is, they have such a robust system. I mean, they art it all the time. there are no season for sports in Jamaica. You know. Athletics is a thing for every day. And I think we can take a page or a couple of pages, maybe a few chapters from them, if you want to build on our medal intake and our medal count. You know, we need to take something from the book in Jamaica.
Right, so folks, it's now coming down to the lower part. I don't want to say the bottom, but the lower part of the hour.
No, don't go there. Don't go there.
We're going there. Nah, it's the lower part of the hour. It's 9:26 now, and we're going down to the lower part. So, Honorable, today the CXC results came out. I see a lot of parents, they're smiling on social media. I see they're smiling. They're very proud. And I know the party would want to say something to the successful students and those who were not as successful as they wanted to be. So I know you all have quite a bit to say to them.
Well, of course, congratulations are in order for every student, every single one. As you say, successful and not so successful. Somebody once mentioned to me, they said, success is not final, but failure is not fatal. What they said is that if you didn't make it this time and you fail, it gives you an opportunity to do better the next time around. So I want to tell those who didn't do as well as they were hoping to, don't just give in. Don't throw in the towel. Don't say that's it for me. You have another opportunity. Work harder. Look back at where you made your shortcomings, where your mistakes were, what caused you to fail, and try again and push a little harder, prepare better, and so on your success can come. A guy who wrote a book, he said, people oftentimes say sometimes we win and sometimes we lose. He said, not really. He said, sometimes we win and sometimes we learn. So I hope they learn from the mistakes. But those who did as they expected, got all of the things, or most of it, got a couple of ones, and so congratulations are in place for you. And continue to push on, continue to move on. Education has no limit, really. There is no point to say, well, I stop here. It's a lifelong journey, so you know the doors are open for you to do bigger and greater things.
Yes, indeed. And I'd like to move quickly at this point in time onto the party. You are the General Secretary of the New National Party. The New National Party this month, in fact, a few days from now, I believe is supposed to be the anniversary. You know, just a 2 or 3 days from now should be the anniversary of the creation of the New National Party. If I'm remembering correctly, it was August 1984. I think it was August 23rd or 24th or something, 1984. So in just a couple of days, the NNP is celebrating 40 years as a political organization. Where's the New National Party at this point in time? I know a lot of inquiring minds are out there and they want to know. What is the present state? What is the party doing at this point in time? I know there were a lot of activities that Hurricane Beryl sort of threw out of whack. So they had to be stood down. What is taking place?
Well, you're very correct. For the 40th anniversary, there is a committee that is in place, and they had quite a lot of plans. Some of them were disturbed by the passage of Beryl. Some things had to be postponed outright. Others were moved. Dates have changed and so. And later on this week, we are having an executive meeting, so there'll be an update from that committee. But by and large, our party is in a good place. We have had our struggles since after the election. Like you know, it was an American president, I don't remember which one, what says, failure is an orphan, but success is the son of many fathers. Meaning that when something is successful, everybody put up their hand and say, I was part of it. I am responsible for the success. When it fails, you just see people disappear one by one. It doesn't have a father. It becomes an orphan. Nobody claims it. So since the loss at the polls, we have had some transition. We have had some people who decided they want to hang up their boots. We have had some people who moved differently. We have had others who said, look, I'm still a member of the party. My support is there, but I won't be taking such an active and front role as I used to before. And we had to sit in the back room, in the engine room, as we sometimes say, and plan and we strategize and do things. And By the end of this week, next week, we'll be making public announcement on some of the things we're doing as it relates to our General Council and subsequently our convention, which is something I know I've been making the waves and people have been talking, and even some people who don't understand the ABC of NNP, they become experts overnight and they tell you all that is wrong and all that should be and shouldn't be and who should be there and who shouldn't be there and, you know, who must go up and who must go down and all kind of things. So there's been a lot of talk. And some of it is just pure excitement and people talking with full knowledge of what is happening. But I can tell you from where I sit as General Secretary, it is well with our party. It is well. We have work to do. There are some things that are still not in place, but we are getting ourselves organizationally and politically ready for what is to come. The work is happening in the background.
And the thing is, I think one of the things that people ask about in some of the constituencies are the leadership and so. And I don't think there's a problem when it comes to leadership in the constituencies, as in finding people. I think the problem might be that it have too much people to select from in those constituencies and too much quality people, no matter which constituency you're speaking about. You have quality people that have been stepping forward and saying, hey, they've raised their hand and say, I am willing. Yeah, I am willing. And even if you don't give me, I'm willing to work.
Right. So as it is now in the constituencies where we don't have parliamentary representation, the party has taken a decision to have what is referred to as political leads. Now, a political lead doesn't necessarily have to become the candidate, but this is someone who have accepted the responsibility to help move the political work forward. And as you say, stay in the lead, stay in charge, report to the party and so. And there are several other people who are coming forward and say, look, I have an interest. But you just coming and say you have an interest, that's not where it ends. The people from that constituency would definitely have a say into who they has a preference for. And so there are a lot of processes that has to go through. So you're correct, Sheldon, in saying maybe we have too many people. So it sometimes make it a little difficult to determine, boy. Should it be Bola? Should it be Sheldon? They're all good.
No, Sheldon at all.
Sometimes you have 3-4 people. So it's a little tough. But we'll soon ride these waves and get everything in place.
Indeed. And I know that the Grenadian people are looking quite forward to that. Because I hear they talk out there, they're ready because people meet me, they say, boy, we ready for election already. We ready already. They say, all sticking. I think they feel that we have to call the election, you know. They don't realize that's the ruling party.
Responsibility. The ruling party calls the election, but of course, based on our activities and how well we are organized and the work we're doing, we can create the necessary condition to force them to call it. So we are quite aware of that.
Indeed. So at this stage, we'll be hearing pretty soon, the party will be meeting in the next couple of days, and we'll be hearing from the party what are the activities, the reformatted schedule of activities for the rest of the year from the party.
Yes.
Yeah, because I know they were supposed to have the carnival fete and the bingo and all, but with Beryl, you couldn't go ahead with these things. You had to put those things aside and focus now on how we're going to assist our brothers and sisters in Carriacou and Petit Martinique.
Yeah. And the northern part of the island as well, we can't forget them.
No.
Have some losses up that side.
St. Patrick's people wouldn't allow me to come back in the area if I continue to not call the name, you know.
Yeah.
Brother Bola, anything else you want to tell the Grenadian people at this point in time, especially as the General Secretary of the new National Party? Any other information you'd like to be giving to the Grenadian people?
I just want to say to people that you have to be careful. We are living in an era where information flows almost like water now. It's instant. Doesn't mean that everything you read, you hear, you see on Facebook and the social media platforms are true. Always verify. Always call somebody you think might be in the know. Don't just start sharing everything you get as though it is gospel, because there's some people that are very good. They are well trained. They will take one little bit of truth, 1 ounce, a truth and pave it with 15 ounces of lies and put it out there and cause you to get in a quandary, cause you to worry and so. Stand firm with your party. The leadership of your party is quite aware of what is happening and are making plans as to how we're going to deal with the issues that confront us. I mean, some things have been spoken about. You showed something earlier on where Sister Pierre made an appeal, a very passionate one. Nothing to affect or to belittle anybody, just pleading to the government, look, the conditions are worsening and you need to really start. Go with a greater urgency to help the people of Carriacou in particular and Petit Martinique. Yeah, and you saw what the MP for the area was doing, trying to make it into something political and accuse her of political grandstanding. I also wish to tell people, listen, you can't be in the pan and out the pan. You have to decide. You have to really decide, listen, if what this government is doing is what you want for your country, for your family, for your children, for your future, so be it. That's your choice. Whatever comes after, you have to live with it. If you believe the NNP has the answer, based on our track record, we have been tried and tested, battle tested, I must say. We have done what no other political party has ever done for this country. Despite I hear some people, oh, NNP never did nothing. And I wonder where they have been living for the umpteen years that NNP has been around. Do you think NNP has that track record and NNP is either? Come on board. You're welcome. The house has room and we'll accept you wholeheartedly. And let's work this thing together and make this country the place where we all yearn to live, a better place for us and for our next generation. Sheldon, I also want to use the opportunity to thank you, not just for having me on, but for the tremendous job you've been doing. I must confess I don't listen to the program every night, but whenever I listen, I feel refreshed. I don't know how you get it, I don't know your means, but you always have good, fresh, authentic information, not they see. Not, like some people on some program come around. You bring facts, yes? Continue doing what you're doing. The Grenadian people need to hear from you. I wish you all the best. I wish, the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, St. Patrick's in particular, I wish that some kind of relief, especially those who have no proper place to live, will come to them sooner than later. Thank you, sir.
And Brother Bola, next time I'm up in our home, I'll go call you.
All right, no problem. Give me a show. Give me a show.
You know, our home wouldn't give us a rest if we didn't call it the place tonight.
I know. That in my days around in our home.
You know that way.
And then we used to call down closer to the cemetery down the Bully Guts.
Yeah.
I mean, these people, they forever will be in my thoughts. They are etched in it because they were really serious with their support for the new National Party and to a certain extent Roland Bola. So good night to them, the people of St. Andrews Northeast.
But Bola, just before you go, I know we were ending off, but one question that came to mind, as you mentioned, down by the cemetery. I remember at the point in time you were in charge of lands and so you had raised a very important issue. I seem to remember you raising that issue in Parliament as well. When it comes to lands for cemeteries and what is taking place, that really and truly, we don't have enough lands right now for cemeteries. You have to start looking at other means of burial or cremation and so on. And you also have to look at getting probably new locations for cemeteries and that sort of thing. And then remember, the Ministry of Health also had put in place where you're not really able to bury people on your property as before. You have to get permission from them now.
Yep.
So what was the final thing with that? Well, not the final, but where had you gotten with that?
Well, still that is up in abeyance. I attempted. We didn't get off the ground with it, but for the lands that the government had acquired in a poultry, for the expansion of the playing field, they did some house lots, and there's a portion that we had earmarked to create a cemetery. We have to do a lot of backfilling, a lot of dumping there because it's an area that gathers water, but it can because the engineers look at it and they said once you backfill it sufficiently, over time it will become dry enough. You would have to do some drainage and so as well. We had started with some of the loose mold we got from the playing field, but it still has a lot of work to be done. Nothing is happening now. But that issue continued to be a serious issue, and I did, as you say, when I raised it in Parliament, spoke about we enacting laws to stop people from building these massive tombs that they're building in public cemeteries. I'm not saying that people shouldn't build too, but if you have your little private family cemetery and you want to build a tomb, they're okay. But the public cemetery, when you build this massive thing that could take 2 or 3 graves, I mean, I've been to a lot of countries out there, huge, China, the USA and so. I don't see tombs. You see headstones, and they are lined up in a row in order. Thousands of people can bury. Yes? Look at 2x4 country like Grenada. Everybody want to build a house to live in when they're dead. He just don't working for a sheldon. So it's a serious issue that we need to probably raise. Maybe you can air it a little bit more in your program, because I don't think there are a lot of people who understand, the implications it has for us going down the road.
Yeah, because you're seeing some of these structures that going up in some of the cemeteries and some of the graveyards right now. Yes, people, there is a difference between cemetery and graveyard. We'll explain now. But you're seeing some of the tombs that are going down there, and some of them are going down in a way that they build it, you can't even put another tomb on top it to say, well, okay, you're going to put something else on top. So the family members who are still living, who has put this in place, and even say, well, in the future, one of us might have to go there, at least build it in a way that you could take another person on top or something like that. Yeah, it just do what you want kind of thing. And you see that all over. You look at the various cemeteries around the area, they're running out of space. The graveyards, they're running out of space.
All of them.
Yeah. All right, Brother Bola, once again, we'd like to thank you so very much for being on with us tonight. And do not be a stranger. This is your first time on Talking Points. You used to be on Hard Talk all the time, I think. But this is
never on Talking Points.
Yeah, this is your first time on Talking Points. And we'd like to thank you so very much. You've been very, very educational to a lot of people here tonight. A lot of people didn't know some of the stuff you spoke about in agriculture, in sports, and even this last issue in relation to the burials. And so a lot of people did not, people seeing it, but it hasn't clicked to them that, hey, we in a problem here. We're running out of space, Just now you might have to do like Trinidad, where I think they're allowed to keep them a burial spot for 6 years or something like that, 5 or 6 years, and then they give it to somebody else. We don't want to end up like that here. So we have to actually find a way to deal with it. So we want to thank you so very much.
You're welcome, Sheldon. Take care.
Thank you very much, sir.
Continue doing your good job.
All right. Thank you so very much, sir. Yes, indeed, folks. We have been speaking there with, as I say, I always will continue to say, the Honorable Roland Bola. Yeah? Yeah, does say it in the song? That's the man. Yes, the Honorable Roland Bola. Folks, we're going to open the phone lines for the last 15 minutes or so and give you the opportunity to call in. We've spoken about quite a lot tonight. And indeed, I know many of you are still messaging me in relation to the video that I played at the beginning of the elderly gentleman trying to enter his home that has fallen after the hurricane, and he's receiving no assistance. And I mean, that is not a thing that you had to go and write to the GDB, the CDB, to get money to put in the GDB for the gentleman to get to fix the house. You get a team of guys, good, well-intentioned people, and you go up there and you could sort out this issue for the gentleman. Yeah? I think they're leaving it up for us to go and sort out, man. Yeah, let me see if they want us to go and sort it out. Only no talking points, Yeah, we go in and sort it out and thing, 440-7377, 347-329-3101. Once again, we want to thank our good brother, Mr. Roland Bola. Yeah, that is the man, Roland Bola. 440-7377, 347-329-3101. A set of people keep messaging me. They have talking points on one device and they're listening the Democratic National Convention on the other device in the US. I don't know how they're listening to two things at the same time. who's talking tonight? I think is Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, presidency. I think they're talking tonight, Michelle Obama.
Tell them fellas, please don't get no chorus.
I'll get the highlights. I can't say that.
Hold all the way. All them other parties, they must change their mind. Because Roland and NMP go kick their behind. We don't want to hear nothing but start and keep.
Yeah, folks, and again, we continue to make that appeal on behalf of the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. We continue to make our appeals on behalf. Who want to vex? Who want to vex? Who want to upset? Who want to lose their temper and turn pink? We ain't care. What we care about are the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique and their living situation. Yeah? As Pastor said earlier, why not call in paddies, and not just paddies, but all of the different hardwares that exist in Carriacou? Don't go and create no hardware with all your partner and them to go and say all they're doing thing. Use the hardware stores that exist right now. Put the funds inside there and provide building materials and so to assist in a short term the people in Carriacou and Petit Martinique, the short and medium term. And then you have your long-term objectives of assisting these people to upgrade their homes to hurricane-proof. As much as you could hurricane-proof, because we see concrete house fall in Carriacou. So it means that all the building standards have to be evaluated. There's a lot I could say in relation to some of the things that Mr. Tevin Andrew said. There's a lot of things I could say, but I ain't going to say it yet. But anyway, that's the tents. Yeah? That is the tents. Those are the tents. Yeah? Huh. My goodness, yeah. These are the tents that they want the people in Carriacou to move out from the shelters. They want them to move out from the shelters and go and shelter in the tent. I know, he maybe turn Apache. Yeah, maybe turn Apache and Cherokee and all kind of thing. Want to put us in some teepee? Eh? Nah, we just play Shakespeare Mass and thing in Carriacou. Shakespeare Mass. And them thing, yeah, that way we just play over there. Wild Indian and thing. If you lose Wild Indian, you want to put us in TP? 4407377 347 3101. Yeah. Yeah, folks, as I said, you got to call now.
Election day is all the way. Tell them fellas, stop beating their chest.
And we've got a call online. Hello, good night. Hello.
Good night, Sheldon.
Hey, how you doing?
Last night I meant to mention Pastor Lewis has really made some real significant contributions. The other day he spoke, I can't remember what day it was. I think it was Thursday. And after that, the guy with the Guyanese accent he spoke. And, you know, we in Grenada have, when I say we, my spirit is there. But you see,
well, your neighbor string here too.
Huh?
Your neighbor string here too.
Pardon me?
I say your neighbor string here too. It's just your accent different, but go right ahead.
You see, the thing about it, right, is no joke thing, you know, Sheldon. It's a serious thing because the world is looking on. Grenada is south of the Caribbean before Trinidad and Tobago. And Grenada is a humble and peaceful place. Look, tonight you even listen to the conversation of about speaking about agriculture. You imagine marketing board shut down. A man and me used to go by marketing board and I coming home, go spend $200 and something on marketing. Go over cheese, things, nutmegs, things. And now, but what is really going on? You can't shut down that. That is a place that tourists will go and get things of an economic price. And you can bring home tarbon balls and whatever. What really is going on? Come on, man. Look, Sheldon, I called you last night and I call you tonight. And you know, you don't laugh. I understand why you laugh. But at the end of the day, you see, sometimes in life looking at as an outsider perspective, bring a creative things to show people the reality of what is going on. And listen, you see, Honorable Evelyn Pay and the little footage that you put with her is reality. You have to talk out for your mind. Sheldon, I will say some things, but I don't really want to say them because I don't want to create a storm where there be a calm. But really and truly, man, good God, the people don't have no kind of empathy, no sympathy, no nothing with people. Last night after I talked to you, and that lady calling, and that 2-year-old child died, and you said that you were ready to shut down the program, man, tears fall from my eye, man. Good God, if that was my grandchild. What is really going on? These people don't care nothing about people. Okay, that is not politics. That is in the institution of the hospital, that thing. But at the end of the day, it still comes down to who hand down. I call in nobody no Fisher. Good night, Mr. Scott, and I will hear you another time. Yeah?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I am done. I'm calling nobody. I'm not calling anyone no fish. But as you say, you said what you said, and that is the way it is. But really, and people like you is who keeping justice and equality and reality alive, you know. That's why there's a lot of programs that come out of Grenada. But I like to listen to you because you're real, you're truthful, you're to the point, and you bring facts. Just like my Auntie Jenny. You know my Auntie Jenny?
Yes. And I'm sure she's
I'm a
setting up
good
one
night.
for them.
You see, my Auntie Jenny, you know what I like about my Auntie Jenny, boy? She is not easy. She is not easy. She brings it real. And she showed me the situation that going down in the park, in the cricket ground, and the injustice. And you know, you have to realize this is 2020. The world is moving forward. Grenada has done a great contribution here after the situation. Barbados has not done much. Barbados is a country that figure that they're above the rest of the Windward Islands. They have a concept that say, oh, low islands, Banana Republic, and look down on lower people. I say, listen, you do not know nothing about us. You think that you have things, but Barbados is a privileged country. They're privileged because of slavery. And they have prejudice in this country beyond you would understand. Because of the fact that we are more Eastern. So when the slave boats came down, I deal with that kind of concept. And then you deliver the slaves. But I ain't really come to talk about all them. One of these days, Mark Sheldon, no, one of these days, I will talk to you and you will see how you get here and how you get there. But I really and truly appreciate you as a host of a program that I realize that you are real. You're not a fake person because I kind of judgmental. You understand? And by that, I think, you know, by the way, you are a guy that I don't remember everything because I talk fast. I try to make my contribution fast. But you are a guy from Sates a couple months ago. You know what? You remember who we're talking about? A guy from Sates. Anyway, he was talking about helicopter and things. But Grenada need to invest in that kind of thing. Because if somebody from Sates get a heart attack, by the time they get to St. George's, they'll be dead. And then you got the hospital running slow because running slow because they want to sell the hospital. The hospital there. You mean the hospital there? Sheldon, I'm an old man, but I'm a young boy. I climb up the wall in the back of the hospital, adventurous. I do a lot of things in Grenada that you will not, no listener will understand. But I have done it and been there. I am a Grenadian. I speak with my accent because I think, like I got a friend of mine, I talked to him in New York there the other day. I can make it short. I know my time up.
Yep.
I can make it short. I got a friend of mine. I got a friend of mine in New York, and you know he still speaks with a Grenadian accent because when you leave Grenada to go in a big country like that, you don't have like interaction too much with the societal things. Here in Barbados, I had a lot of interaction till I find myself when I come and say, oh, what going on, bitch? But I don't speak in the Bajan accent.
Caller, we had to cut it. we had to cut it. We had to
all right, Sheldon. Sorry.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Yeah, you another time.
Have a good one.
Yeah, you another time. Run.
Yeah, we had to cut it. Yeah. So folks, we have just 5 minutes remaining. 5 minutes remaining on tonight's program. Yeah, and you see that issue that we brought up to the end of the conversation with Mr. Bola there? Yes, so you see this thing that taking place? Yeah, families need to start to consider how they do things a bit different. I know what happens, a family member dies and people start to say, well, look, I have, they miss them so much, they want to do everything for them now, and they go and they do a big thing for them and so on. We have to be careful with that. We have to be very, very careful when it comes to that. All right, and we're running out of time now. Just on behalf of those of us here on Talking Points, to say to those of you out there, you heard the message from the Honorable Roland Bola in relation to the CXC. We want to congratulate all of you that have been successful at your CXC exams, and those of you that have, I don't want to say not been successful, but have learned a lesson now of what you need to do in order to pass your CXC exams. Yeah? So those of you who have passed the exams, and those of you who, according to what Brother Bola has said, you either win or you learn. So those who have won and those who are learning, we want to say a special good night to each and every one of you. Don't be depressed that, look, you may have wanted to get X amount of subjects and you didn't get them and so. What you need to do is immediately start the process of how do I get those subjects that I want to get. Yeah? Don't sit down there wallowing and, oh, I didn't get this and I didn't get that and I want to cry and I'm depressed and all that. That ain't going to help you. Yeah? Start to speak whether you're going and do evening classes, whether you're going and repeat whatever it is that you're going and do to make sure that you can get those subjects and so that you need to get. Folks, that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you. In whatever you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. Let me see with our envelope there. Somewhere around here. We'll talk about that tomorrow night. Yeah. Folks, that's all the time we have for tonight, and we will be speaking tomorrow. Yeah, we have a lot of things to speak about tomorrow night. A lot of things to speak about tomorrow night. My name is Sheldon Scott. I'm out here. Love each and every one of you.
Lose me! Original Madman single there! Caleb son and here on them out and me. Talking about my pride and integrity. It's tried it bubble and I put it back. But they want me disqualified for that. I went on radio, I went on TV. And I gave this nation a public apology. Why don't you check some artist history? You have a lot of them who do worse things than me. They never pay no penalty. I never shoved my hand below children's dress. Oh no, oh no. I never tried to rob liquor children's chest. Oh no, oh no. I never had no school children a drop. Oh no, oh no. And halfway before they hold me hand in the lap. Oh no, oh no. I never ever involved in corruption. Oh no, oh no. I never licked myself with no drug baron. Oh no, oh no. I never tried to hold up no gas station. Oh no, oh no. And when him never call in the killing of many man. So live single alone. Lose me! Ah! Original Madman single there! We tell him. Soca artists here they say ban me too. Stop talking about Zingo does fly Ligaroo. I wonder why those guys will give me a chance. To fly Ligaroo is a very high science. Mano, just because I beat them in this ME. They do and say all those things to discredit me. But Casey tell me what is the problem. They singing before me and I winning come before them. So listen this story. I never shove me hand below children's dress. Oh no, oh no. I never tried to rob like a children's chest. Oh no, oh no. I never had no school children a drop. Oh no, oh no. And halfway before they hold me hand in the lap. Oh no, oh no. I never ever involved in corruption. Oh no, oh no. I never linked myself with no drug baron. Oh no, oh no. I never tried to hold
up no gas station. Oh no, oh. And me them never calling the killing of any man. So leave sing go alone. Ah, who goes there? Who do that? Who next? Ah, lose me. So with all this drama in the nation, they never say I offer to sing at number one. Instead of this conspired me, they load up a van and they drove to the ministry. The night and Tuesday blow it up on TV. The next day on JoJo program they say to ban me. The year before artist bust up from an eye. I never get the call and say to disqualify. So what is the problem? I never shove my hand below children dress. Oh no, oh no. I never try to rub like a children chest. Oh no, oh no. I never offer no school children a drop. Oh no, oh no. I halfway before they hold me hand in the lap. Oh no, oh no. I never ever involved in corruption. Oh no, oh no. I never know Zingo as no party man. Oh no, oh no. I never tried to hold up no gas station. Oh no, oh no. I mean them never calling the killing of any man. So leave Zingo alone. Lose me. Ah, original man.